Okay, so anyone have anything that they want to share?
I do.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Benjamin, I thought it was like a briefing, in a sense, like the way forward, or you are strategizing on something.
No, today is group training, I said. We're doing 4 o'clock group training. We're doing 8 o'clock is a briefing, right, on specific things like the email system. Is that what my text message said? Okay. So let's see. You've got the public school name. Now, public school in the United States, that means that it's K through 12. Okay. So public, right? It would be universities and then dash public. Because what's the emphasis on? These are universities, and either they're public or private. So you put the university first, and then that these are public.
Okay.
Okay. Now, how come you named your file CRM? Okay.
Oh,
I want you guys to do, Inasu, Victor, I want you to look over this, look over what she's done, and I want you to point out things that could have been done differently. And you've got 30 seconds to do it, because it takes me about 3 seconds.
Like on my side, the screen is a bit small. It's like it's not doesn't fit the window. Yeah, it's a bit small.
So either blow it up or turn it sideways or do whatever you can. Can you blow up your screen? Right, Gift? Can you make it larger?
Oh, let me see.
Wait, I can do it. Okay, user screen, right? 200% and view. Okay, but you've got to, yeah, we've got to get you off the screen as well. So let's see. Standard, follow, change theme, set meeting, video, show meeting time, show video, swap video and shared screen. Nope, that didn't do it. Ah. Okay, so that looks like it's too big. So let's go 150. So you guys still can't see. You need to see really the whole thing on there. And we just need to go ahead and reduce you. So let's see. Nope. I'm just going to try some things here. Nope. 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 We might not be able to do this. Hide self view. Nope. Show self view. Change theme. Yeah, we don't want to change the theme. Full screen, that's right. If any of you see any solutions, you're welcome to go ahead and say. We're just testing things right now. Meeting info, reset default apps, host tools. So enable with screen sharing, chat, start video, share Zoom docs, whiteboard, share notes, record to computer.
Oh, would you try to copy it from your laptop? I
Say
sent it to
again?
you on WhatsApp. I sent it to you
Yeah,
on WhatsApp.
okay. If you send it to me on WhatsApp, I can open it, and that might be a good solution. Okay, very good. Okay, so let me know when you have that done, and I'll go into here, and I will go into gifts sheet, and let's see if this can open, and then I will share my screen. Okay. Okay, so everyone can see this now. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yes.
And let's see if I can even do. Okay, so that should even be better. Okay, and Inasu, we see the top of your head. Okay, so here, so quickly, who can go ahead and see anything regarding this spreadsheet that needs to be done differently according to our procedures?
No?
Yeah, go ahead. If you got something to say it.
Yeah. According to our procedures, it's lacking the objective.
Okay, so she doesn't have the objective and she doesn't
Yeah.
show the prompt, right?
Yes, no prompt, yes.
Okay, that doesn't have to be in the same spreadsheet. It's not supposed to be in the same spreadsheet. It's supposed to be in a different tab. So, Gift, do you have the objective and the prompt that you used?
I did not put it in a spreadsheet,
Okay,
but
so
I
did you hear what was said? It's supposed to
yes.
be in the spreadsheet in a labeled tab. Okay, and so down here at the bottom where it says sheet one, that's actually supposed to be the name of the sheet, and it's supposed to be specific. So you've got
Okay.
one, whenever you start a spreadsheet, you've got to make the name specific. CRM tells me nothing. That's like having, I'm a graphic designer and I've got my image files called image. I'm a writer and I got my Word files called Word or Doc. How am I going to find anything based on that when you might have a dozen different documents that have to do with CRM or 100 different documents? Name your files specific in all caps. Name your sheets specific in all caps. So that's one, that's two. Bold your headers, which you did. You did not freeze your headers. Did you go through the video that tells you what you're supposed to do? Because it's
Yes.
all in there. It says it all in there. So I'm just repeating things which you should have been able to outline and then incorporate into your work. So next time I see your work, right, we're not going to go over this stuff again because you're going to do it correct. Yes?
Yes.
And for everyone listening, this is reinforcement. So if you haven't written it down before in your notes and you're supposed to keep a notes spreadsheet, you're going to do it. Any other things that you think need to be changed on here? Okay.
Life fast.
Say again?
Okay. Can I speak?
I don't know. Are you capable of
Okay.
speaking?
I was saying, in my, yes?
Felista, you don't have to ask that question. Everyone here,
Yes.
right, this is an open discussion when we talk about something. When I say who has ideas, you've got to get to the point.
Okay.
Okay? Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. My internet gets stuck, then releases. I was saying in my first presentation, you told me that words are supposed to be in the center. That I wanted to clarify because these ones are on one side, so I don't know.
Okay, you said what's supposed to be in the center? Okay, I'm not sure. Right. There's a couple of things about centering. One is, right, your headers are not supposed to be centered unless you have very small data in your cells.
Yes.
Okay. So your headers are supposed to be for 90% of the time left justified. There's only limited times when you'd center the cell. Okay. And there's limited times when you'd center the data. Like I just centered Japan. That's not one of them. Okay. It's only when you're dealing with like a certain numbers in a ranking where you don't want it pushed all the way over to the left, right? And then you have a large header, so there's a huge gap. Or when the information is going to be pushed all the way over to the right of the cell and to be very close to the next column. Okay. So you can center it then to get some space where it's going to be easier for the user to get the information. So let's justify your headers, bold your headers, freeze them. Okay. Anything else?
I was requesting you repeat the thing about the center. My internet went off.
I just repeated it just now when you came back. That was the second time I said it. So this is international universities. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the thing is that you have your list, it's completely random. Okay. Wouldn't you actually want to sort your data, right, based upon country? Okay. And hopefully it sorted everything. Let's go back. Okay. I don't think it did. Okay. So when you sort, okay, and you sort from column, let's say from country, it says edited, okay, by another user. So it's not going to let me sort it, I guess, until it's done, until it's either recognizing it as my file. But the thing is that you would sort these, okay, by location. Why would you want to go ahead and have them randomized? Doesn't make sense. Okay. And the thing is that if you were doing this, okay, it might be like city, country. You've got to decide whether you want, the reason why we capitalize all these things is so that there's uniformity between files, between what people are doing. If you don't capitalize your files, she capitalizes hers, he goes ahead and uses upper and lower case. We don't have a system. We've got chaos in terms of how we manage our files. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. So you also need city in here. because some countries are large. If you start adding India in here, China, Pakistan, whatever, okay, there's multiple cities or there's multiple universities in a city. So you're missing that column. One of the biggest issues that I have, okay, is that you don't have one, right? Let's move this over. You don't have the internship program listed separately, because then you can put right, the internship program has to go through, right, university or career resource center. This one goes through, let's say, Handshake. This one goes through Simplicity. Okay. Now, when I have this, how to sign up for internship? Well, first, what this means is, what does this mean to you? How to sign up for internship? What does that mean?
Like, there are different schools that have different methods of signing. So I search for how to sign up in the schools.
Okay, does anyone, is that clear to everyone what she said? This is a yes or no question. Yes or no? Come on, guys, snap it up. You got to get used to it.
No.
It's not clear. No.
Why is it not clear? Hey.
The explanation is right.
What? Felista, what?
I was saying the explanation is right, but I think you wanted one word to cover the entire thing, which is meant to be probably procedure.
No. Victor, go ahead. What? Why is it not clear?
The way she said it, I didn't hear it well, the words.
Okay, that's something else. That might be internet, that might be whatever. Inasu, why is it not clear?
Well, I did not pick what she said. I wanted her to repeat again. Sister.
No. She said it well enough where you could have gotten it if you did attentive listening. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get you guys to understand how quickly you have to analyze information in the professional world. You understand that?
I understand.
You've got to get your brains in a higher gear.
Yes.
Okay. The problem with what she said is, who's signing up for the internship? Is it a student, or is it our nonprofit is signing up with their university in order to go ahead and have our positions offered to their students? I don't know which one she's referring to.
She's not specific.
That's always the problem. And then I'd question you, how is she not specific? And then you wouldn't be able to answer me, right? So that you're not being specific.
No, I've understood the question. She's not specific.
So what? That's not the answer, right? You would have to, that's part of the problem, but what's the answer? The answer is what I said in terms of why she was not specific enough. Do you get it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Felista?
Yes, I get
Victor?
it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I get it.
Okay. And Gift,
Yes.
you understand what the problem is now.
Yes.
So the thing is, it looks like you went ahead and did this from a student standpoint. Is that correct?
It was AI. I
Is,
used AI.
is that correct? From a student
Yes.
standpoint, yes or no?
Yes.
And you've got to go ahead. Remember what I said about responding? So what's your answer?
Yes.
And was that what we asked you to do from just strictly a student standpoint? How are we going to go ahead and sign up with the university to go ahead and get our information distributed to students? Now, honestly, the answer may be the same thing. Okay. But the thing is, the other problem with your information in column E is what? What's the other problem that you all need to recognize?
It's not standard. It should be a standard way, standard manner, like something, a process that all the universities can follow, not
No,
just.
because it's not a question of all the universities to follow. We have to follow what they put out. So we can't dictate to the universities what their processes is. We've got to codify things so that it makes it easier for our management team to access information and respond to it. Anybody else? What's the third component of the Pomoro system?
Analyze, synthesize.
Wrong.
Outline.
What is it?
Outline.
Outline. Is what you wrote an outline of what needs to be shared? Information about internships for international students is provided to their international exchange office. The answer is, if I wanted to know this as the answer, I would label this correctly, and then I would just put down where it was. That's a line item outline. So I can just scan this topic, this header, and I can go right down the list, and I understand just like that how they go ahead and handle, right, the internships for students. If this was right. Okay, international exchange office, right? And that's part of the thing. This is right. All this is completely a waste of space, time, energy on her part in doing it and our part in reading it. Do you understand that?
Yes.
This is the beauty of the Pomoro system. It gives you the ability to share information that is the best information because you researched, you analyzed, you synthesized. Now you outline it, you spreadsheet it, so now you can manage it and utilize it. I don't have to read through all this other, pardon my expression, crap, because it's just not necessary, okay, to get the answers. Do you follow that?
Yes.
Okay. So the thing is, we want to go ahead and know, right? So organization, don't normally put periods in here. So organizations sign up. Okay. Where do we sign up to be an organization where we can offer internships to students through this university? And, right, it would say Career Resource Center, or it would say one of the programs that the Career Resource Center employs to do that. And that might be Handshake or Simplicity, or one of the other ones. Okay. And then where do the students sign up for the internships? Okay. Normally, if they have a company that they've hired, they would put that in here. Okay. So apply online to their internship program page for placements. Okay. So this would be, right, you know, Career Resource Center, if that's the name of their program. So this is Career Services Office. If they've got a different name for it, okay. And do you notice what I'm doing with the punctuation? I'm using professional, what we call title case. You got multiple words, it's a name of a department, you capitalize all of it. Okay, so now do you see how to go ahead and do this?
Yes.
That's not a big enough yes.
Yes.
Okay. Third, another thing, you didn't verify that these emails were correct because there's no such email with a star in it that I've ever seen. Row 3, column F. And you cannot put not listed in your email columns because when you go to merge this with a program like we're doing tonight, right, a custom letter program, not having valid emails in your cells will screw up the software completely and you will fail. So if you don't have a valid email, don't put anything in there. And if you don't have a valid email, well, you didn't do good enough research because every single university has an email for their Career Resource Center.
Okay.
Is that correct? What I just said, is that correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So just because it's not listed, right? So you're approaching this as a low-level worker because a low-level worker will just stop when they get information, even if it's the wrong information. What does a professional do?
Do more research.
They do more research and then they fill it in. And if, let's say, you had planned to do more research, okay, but you ran out of time and you had to go in with your presentation, if it's to your coworkers or your boss, you then tell them in advance that this is the spreadsheet that I prepared. There are still some elements that I need to work through, which I'll do, you know, subsequent to the meeting. Okay. And then you tell them what those are. Because if they go into it and they see that you have emails that are incorrect, you have whatever the case may be, they're going to either think that you're incompetent or you don't care. But if you alert them to the fact that you're going to go ahead and do this, that's in your favor. Okay? Phone numbers, right? Same thing. Do not mix, right? You know, there's certain things that you don't mix in your cells. Okay? If you're supposed to be doing something that relates to analysis of data, of numbers, don't put text data in the same cell as you're supposed to have numerical data. So if you have something and you have frequency, okay, like monthly, daily, yearly, annually, don't put that information in the same cell as, let's say, the rate that the clients would pay, because you'll never be able to sort the information properly. You won't be able to work with it. What do you need to do? You got 3 different parameters, okay, daily, monthly, annually. What do you do? Nobody knows? Okay. You set up 3 different columns. You can say daily, monthly, annually with the information. And if you need to go ahead and total it, you can have another column which has, let's say, the subtotals, and then you total it at the bottom, right? But you might have to have some multipliers in there. The point is that there are ways to fix things, how you manage your data, how you do your project management. This is part of project management, database management, data analytics. Okay, Felista, why is your screen so dark? Okay, can't really see you at all. Okay, so do you get that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's enough for now. Okay, what I want you to do, see here you had the city and you had the country, but you can't have that in the same cell. Just like if you had on the other, if you had, let's say, insert, we'll just do this really quickly. Okay. Let's say you wanted who is the director of the Career Resource Center, right? They all have directors, right? Or they have manager, director, whatever it is. You would put in first name, last name, and what their title is. And then if they have also, right, an email, now you have a problem. Well, actually you don't. But the thing is that, let's say you labeled this contact email. Now you have a problem. You cannot have 2 headers with the same name. Okay, because depending on what you're doing with your spreadsheet, when you go to upload it into another program, you're going to run into a conflict. So this is, right, you can call this could be called contact email, and this can be called, right, career resource center, right, email. This is like the department email. So this is the generic one, because you see it's not addressed to a person. It's career, it's info, it's intern. Okay, this one right, is specific to the person. Got it?
Yes.
And in your prompt, actually, you could have asked for this information as well. It's a question of how specific you wrote your prompt. Okay. So I want you to redo, right, your other file names. Okay. Okay. So key phrases and okay. Okay, this is good, but you have one thing that you're missing, and that is context. Okay. So the thing is that you have a key phrase, but right, someone who's trying to learn these things, right, doesn't have the context for how this is used. Okay. And then you can also put in program. And if you got this from, where did you get it from? Website, okay, or app, or one book. So again, right, we want specific information when we're working. And it's just as easy to do it this way from the beginning. It's easier to do it this way from the beginning than having to go back and correct it later. So once you learn how to get more specific with your information, your career will appreciate it tremendously. Okay, I'll give you a very simple example. Let's see, when I was in college as an undergraduate, I was living on my own in an apartment complex. And I went to the office and I said, hey, is there any job that you can give me so that I can actually lower my rent? And the manager said, yeah, okay, right. You can help with landscaping. Okay, and then we'll knock off whatever based on what you did. So I was working doing landscaping, and he came by one day and he was watching me. And he said, you don't have to pick every single weed that's in this particular, section and garden. And I was on my hands and knees picking out weeds. And I looked up at him and I said, well, I'm doing it, so I might as well do it to the best of my ability. And that meant I picked out every weed that I saw, and I saw all of them. Okay. So you don't want to do things right for 80% of the population. At least I hope you don't. You want to do things like we talked about before you came on board. We do things for the highest level so that we can present. And thank you, Felista, for changing that. Right? You're next on my list, Inasu, for your lighting. Okay. We do things because we've got to present, right, to C-suite CEO or C-suite executives in Fortune 500 companies. And if we don't have the foundation work, right, that we build on, how are we going to do the content that we create for them? If you can't see it here, how you're going to go ahead and see it later on when you're supposed to be managing people and teaching people? Right? So I've got to get you to go ahead and see things differently, how to do things differently to a much, much higher standard. And then when you start doing other things, you'll apply the same criteria to what you're doing, and you'll know how to research it. You'll know how to analyze, synthesize, outline, manage your work. Much better than the vast majority of your coworkers. Better than some of your supervisors and managers. Better than even sometimes the owners of the company. So that's what you have the ability to learn and do. Okay. So you know what you're going to do. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. So I'll put this back into, I think maybe it went ahead. You got to check on your end if it actually updated the spreadsheet. Okay. Who else would like to go?
Yes, it did.
Oh, okay.
If you want to put your file in WhatsApp so I can open it, you can do that. That might be faster. Okay. And also, you all have links to your folders, I believe. Right? You should be putting all your work in your file folder as well, so that we have a copy and can review and utilize. When later you're working on multiple projects, you'll create a new folder, you'll create additional folders inside your folder where you can divide up your work into the appropriate folder using the conventions which I've already expressed. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, it means, right, put your folder name specific and make it all caps. Things that we do are consistent. Inasu, right? I'm talking because I don't see your file. If you're not ready, is anybody else ready that would like to go?
Let's see.
I will just come out clean and say that my presentation is not yet complete, Mr. Benjamin.
That's all right. That's all right. But the thing is that by being on the call, you're learning. Because the reinforcement, right, will help you whether you realize it or not. The more times, right, you meet with me, and this is all of you meeting collectively, the better off you are. No matter how it sounds, or you know, right? Do you know that anybody know what my undergraduate degree was in?
Yeah, law.
That was my graduate degree.
Architecture.
Undergraduate. Go ahead, Gift.
Architecture.
Sorry?
Architecture.
No. That's something that came later, but it wasn't a degree. Nobody's been to my website, lylebenjamin.com.
Psychology.
That's what I published a magazine about, psychology. No. So, okay, so nobody knows. Okay. It was in English literature with a specialization called literary criticism. Literary criticism means that you have to read works of literature that are sometimes hundreds of years old, and then you had to analyze them. And you had to analyze them, not reading somebody else's analysis of them.
Can I switch to my phone?
Excuse me?
Can I switch to my phone?
I couldn't hear you.
Can I switch to my phone?
Can you
Switch to
can you search it on your phone?
switch.
Switch. I'm sorry. Your audio is not clear. Yes, you can. So the thing is, with literary criticism, I had to analyze works of literature that people have been analyzing for literally decades and decades and decades at the highest level of academia. And then I had to write about my analysis. So very few people choose to do that as a specific aspect of their major, because it's way too difficult. Because I'm doing analysis against some of the best minds in academia that have been analyzing the same works for 100 years. Okay. Now, I did pretty well at my school.
I know your school. I know your school. Can I say it?
Yeah,
I
go
know
ahead.
your school. University of Florida.
Yeah, one of the top universities in the country.
I saw the game. I saw that game you played.
Not only in basketball and football, but in academics. Thank you.
It's a great game. It was a great
Yeah,
game.
it was good. It was exciting. So the thing is that when I do my work, when I was at university, I turned in my first paper as a freshman to my freshman writing instructor. I got back a grade. My grade was a D plus. D. Our system goes from A, B, C, D, E. E is failure. D is you passed by this much, right? C is average. Okay. I got back a D plus, and I had every student had a conference with the professor, and I had my conference, and I was mortified. I was like, oh my God, I suck. And the professor said, no, Lyle, you don't suck. I failed, right? 2/3 of the class. Okay. Your paper's actually pretty good. Okay. And I got a D plus. Okay. Now, the thing is, yeah, I raised my grade, and yes, I did well, very well in the class. Okay. But the thing is that the subject that I was in, you have the professors analyzing everything that you're writing. They didn't do so great on the thought processes, okay, but they did analyze my writing. Okay, well, I've written things that professors didn't understand, but that's a separate issue. Okay, but the point is that I had to get used to the criticism and use it as a way for me to improve. Because they're doing it not just to be critical, they're doing it for my benefit. And that's what I understood. So I always wanted the tough route. I don't want the easy way to do things. Okay? Because I don't learn anything from the easy way. I learn it from tough situations, tough love, whatever you want to call it. And that's the way that I teach. If I just went ahead and said, right, blah, blah, blah to you all, you're not going to learn it. You're just going to go ahead and do it to do assignments. And that's not the purpose of what we're doing. Yes, we want the assignments done, but we want you to think about it. Okay, now fast forward 3+ years later, right? I'm a graduating senior, even though I'm graduating 6 months earlier. And I get in the elevator with the same professor who was my professor way back when I was a freshman, okay, and gave me a D plus. And he said, Lyle, he said, I know that you're going to law school, okay, but if you decide you don't like it, or if it doesn't work out, come back to the University of Florida, come back to the English department, right, as a professor, because we need really good professors here. And you'd be great. And I said, thank you, appreciate that. I never had him for another class after that first year, right? And there's a bunch more stories I can tell, but not today, right? That are kind of interesting about things that go on in terms of life and how you think and how you respond and blah, blah, blah. Because it's all tied together, really. Okay? That's why, what do we do with our programs? They're designed to help people with quality of life. All this stuff that I'm teaching you, yeah, it's for your career, but it's also for your quality of life, whether you know it or not. Okay? And somewhere down the road, something will click and you'll finally get that or understand that. And hopefully you'll appreciate it. Okay, because as you're going through, right, the feedback that you get from me, you might not appreciate it because you're like, oh my God, what did I sign up for? He's so critical. Oh, why does this matter? Who gives a hoot, right? Well, you know, I was talking to somebody, it might have been the group, you know, in architecture and engineering, and you have to submit proposals for clients. Your company can spend literally hundreds of hours on a proposal, and they get paid zero money for investing all that time in doing a proposal. Yet, if the deadline is Tuesday at 2:00 to have that proposal into the company on the front desk, and they come in at 2 minutes after 2 on Tuesday, it won't be accepted. Period. And you've got 200 people hours, right, of sometimes a dozen different people working on this project for months, and it all goes down the toilet. That's sometimes how the real world is. So when I tell you, hey, I want you to think and I want you to analyze at a faster pace, and I want you, you know, to get used to that, there's going to be plenty of times in your career where you're going to need that speed to do well. You got it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, nobody's smiling except for me. Thank you, Vinasu. Victor, I don't see you smiling. Right? Gift is smiling a little bit. And by the way, thank you. What, Victor?
Serious business.
Yeah, we need to have, you guys need to fix your.
You're doing. I'm saying serious business. You are doing serious business.
Okay, so we don't smile during serious
business.
Okay. I do. I make jokes during serious business meetings with government officials, with business people, with whatever, because I can do that. I don't recommend that for people who can't do that. It's like Elon Musk, right? When he makes a joke, it falls flat, completely flat. It's like it was a duck, right, that did a belly flop, right, on the water. Okay. So some people can do it, some people can't. Doesn't matter how rich you are, right? It matters how your brain works and how you connect to other people. Okay. So let's go on because we're only going to spend another Actually, I said this was going to be a short meeting, but it's not because I tend to talk a lot. Okay. So objective, find out AI applications, to find out AI applications out there. Wow. Okay. What you need to use is more professional writing. This is not professionally written. And because your language is wrong, so to find out AI applications out there, what does out there mean? Does anybody talk? Hey, out there, we're not talking about alien spaceships that are out there in space, right? You can say in the market, okay, or define where you're talking about. That can help with grant development and acquisition. Okay, so if this isn't written properly, what should you do? Call your brother-in-law, right, and ask him to write it for you?
Oh,
What should you do? Come on, guys, answer. Run it through AI and ask it to rewrite it professionally. What's the tone that you're going to use? Professional. Use the 4 key components to writing, right, a prompt. Use it for the objective as well. And Gift, I want to thank you for changing your name and how it's presented on Zoom. Thank you. And Felicity, you capitalized your F. I think it was at one point somewhere it was lowercase. So thank you for that. Okay, so you're going to rewrite that professionally. What AI applications are available to assist with grant development and acquisition? That's even a better way of saying the prompt, of saying the objective. Okay, but you'd have to rephrase it for the objective. Please provide a brief description of each and its corresponding URLs. What's missing in their prompt? What's missing in his prompt? What are the 4 things that go into effective prompt writing? Quick. Oh my goodness. Nobody remembers anything from the other day, huh? Expertise. What's the expertise that you want the AI to have? 2, what's the objective that you want the AI to do? Okay. What's the tone or the voice, right, that you want it to go ahead and use? In this case, business professional or professional. And what's the limitations that you want to add in? Okay, to prevent AI from creating, right, for fictional, hallucinogenic, right, information or whatever. Okay, and if you want your prompt to make specific columns, you've got to give it what those column headers are, as well as any others that might be appropriate. So you've got a description, but you've got a benefits in the same description. Your benefits should be in a separate column. What about price, right? How do we know how much this is going to cost? Do we have a nonprofit price? Okay, we're talking about grants. We're talking about grants, right, for a nonprofit. So shouldn't we check to see whether they have nonprofit pricing? We're talking about the AI, not actually applying for the grant. Okay. Okay, so you got the URL in there, right? So is there a fee to sign up for this service? What's the scope of the grants that are in their system? Are they localized to a specific country, to a specific region? Okay. Do we know if this particular grant organization specializes in certain types of grants? You see, This is where an analysis comes in. You're not asking enough questions about what you need to get back. Okay, so that's also why you run it through the AI. So you've got an optimized prompt, okay? But you should have, in this case, you should have run your objective through AI as well. Okay, and then you get back information. And the thing is that you might need to run this like more than one time to get all the information that you need. And you can also go ahead when you have smaller things like this. Oh, that's actually the wrong one. You don't want to go ahead and have these big blocks of empty space. Okay. This information is actually supposed to be in a separate tab. It's supposed to be objectives and prompts. Okay. And then the data that comes back, right, is in another tab. So you don't mix the objective and prompts with the data. You understand that?
I understand.
They're separate components to the Pomodoro system. Okay. Okay. So, you have a good start here. Okay. But, now you've got some specific things to work on. Okay. And be careful. You have an extra space in front of your benefits, right? But you have it repeated that way. So what you need to do is you need to do a find and replace that extra space. But you've got a problem. If you just find and replace extra space with no space, you're going to screw up all your other data. So what do? If the person doesn't answer in the first 5 seconds and you know the answer, right? You can raise your hand. You can raise your screen hand, okay, under React or whatever it is, and then I'll call on you. Anybody know the answer? He's got a problem in his database management. How does he solve it? You select the whole word, okay? Extra space, benefits, okay? And then you replace it with just benefits. And then you do a global search and replace. Got it? And the thing is, you wouldn't need the word benefits in here in the first place, right? If you would have set up your column like this. And then you got to go ahead and do this to the hell is it? Right, to the top, it's got to be in bold. Okay. And then your benefits. And you don't need periods in here also, right? Unless the AI is putting them in. Okay. Now you don't have to do this. And you can do this. Features. And then you would have it like this. And this is really how you go ahead and do it. Okay.
I have a question, Mr. Benjamin.
Shoot, go for it.
So like you previously stated, you said that when you have a prompt and the results should not be in the same sheet, but the results of the prompt generated by the AI model should be in a different sheet. So like what relationship can you link the two sheets? The sheet with the results of the prompt and the sheet containing the prompt.
You don't need, right, the objective and prompts in your data. It's the end result of your data. This now is what you can actually utilize and analyze to achieve, right, whatever objective that you want. So they should be separate.
So noted.
In other words, you're not listing 16 different objectives and prompts. This is the objective and prompt that has to do with the next tab, right? Which is, grant organizations, grant subscription services, or whatever the case may be. So it's already linked. It's in the same spreadsheet. If you didn't name your spreadsheet properly, that's on you. You got that?
But you might have like several results, might have like several responses until you get the
Several responses of what? Several responses of what?
perfect response, because like you said, AI is from maybe like 2-3 times, so that you have to do the final one. Should we just record the final one?
Stop talking if you want me to answer. Okay. Then what you do is you put in revised prompt. Right? You just get more specific with your columns. Revised prompt 1, revised prompt 2. Okay. That's all you do. This tab is only for objectives and prompts. Your other is your data tab, right? With all your data in it. Do not mix the two. It will not work effectively.
So
Go ahead, do it the wrong way and see how it works. Okay.
yes.
Okay. So you know what to do to revise this, yes?
Sign up.
Sorry?
I know. I know.
Okay, good. Okay. Anybody else? Or are we good for now? Felista, you have anything?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to put it.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes.
Like after this, what's my next assignment?
Your next assignment is to get this one in order and show
Yes.
it again.
It's okay. Thank you.
And the thing is that, right? Okay. What I don't see is you didn't go ahead and anybody know what's missing based upon even the conversation I had earlier with Anasu when some of you might have been present?
Location.
Right.
Somebody said it. Who said the location? I wasn't looking.
Felista.
Yes.
Felista. Very good, Felista. Right? In other words, you want to know what the let's see. This is a really bad word. I'll just do it this way: geo coverage. what the geographical coverage is, right, of this organization, right? Because it may only be
Yes.
Asia, it might be Africa, it might be United States, it might be global. But we don't know because you didn't bother to research that.
Correct.
So you should be doing this, and you should be doing it specifically for, remember I talked about continents before? Europe, Africa? No? Okay. The thing is that if you give AI sometimes too much information to research, it won't do it, and it'll give you limited data back. But if you break it into smaller subsets, you'll get more complete data for that country. So what are all the grant organizations, right, that impact Africa? What are all the grant organizations, right, that are available in Asia? And then, right, I want to see them separate, but later you can combine them, and then you can sort them, and then you can go ahead and eliminate duplicates, but you can expand your geo coverage. Because you don't want duplicates, but you want full, complete information. Okay, you got that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, now Felista, did you put the file in your WhatsApp so that I can open it like everybody else has done? Are you frozen? Are you putting the file in your WhatsApp? Felista,
Yes.
are you putting the file? Are you going to share something now or not?
Yes, I want to share something
So what I said is
on
you can put it into the WhatsApp folder like everybody else so that I can open it much faster than you can.
okay. Let me put
So from now on, you all can do that. Then you can still revise, right? If you see me doing revisions on the screen, you've got the file. You should be doing the revisions yourself at the time I'm talking about them. Okay, so you know a little bit better. It reinforces what you have to do in addition to any notes that you take. Okay, we're waiting for it to come over, and we're going to wrap up because I've got to get something to drink, non-alcoholic, and then I've got to, right, do some stuff, and then I got to eat. Then I got another meeting at 8 o'clock where we go over, right, the email system. So it's like taking these spreadsheets and then importing them into other software in order to manage them. That's one of the things that we will be working on. Okay. So this is terms. Okay. So what's one of the things, anybody care to go ahead and say something right away? Anybody notice anything?
No.
Okay, Victor, you got one thing to say. Quick. What? You got 3 seconds.
No.
Nothing. You got nothing?
Okay. I have something.
Well, hurry up about it, man. I'm not getting any
But
younger.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm checking. I'm first processing. Let me process first the information, please.
Well, your processing,
It's too much on the
your
screen.
processing needs to be upgraded. Your CPU is running behind. Okay.
Too much on the
Inasu,
screen. Yeah.
Pat, Inasu, what?
Increase the screen coverage.
It's what?
Can increase the size.
Oh,
Okay.
caps. It's not in caps. The title and the heading, the file name. It's not the standard of the organization. Caps.
Okay, what I want you to do, I'm going to leave this on the screen. Okay, and Felissa, I want you to do it also. You guys
Okay.
have 5 minutes to make up a list of, if this was your document, or if this was your employee's document and you're the manager, I want you to make a list of all the things that you see that need to be corrected, and I want you to put that into WhatsApp with your name on top.
Not the group chat.
Group chat or a person?
You can put it in the group chat if you want. That way it'll be preserved for everybody and everybody will be able to see it. Okay. And Felissa, we're not picking on you. Okay, it just seems that way. Okay. But Felissa, I want you to do this too, because I've gone over some of this stuff in this meeting. So you should have learned some more things that you can apply. Okay. And I'll give you a hint. Okay. I just looked this over at the same time you did. I haven't really analyzed all of it yet, but your list should have a minimum of 5 things on it. 5, 5, 5, 5, minimum. Okay, I'm gonna go get a drink. I'll be back. You got 5 minutes to do 5. At 5:30, we're doing a quick review. And you're gonna score what you've done. No looking at anybody else's work. Don't post your work until I come back at 5:30. Don't want anybody else seeing it and taking credit for what you did. Ha ha ha. Goodbye. There are packages. 20 minutes. Good job. Oh, is everybody done? Or you need more time? If you're done, raise your hand. Victor's done. Gift is done. Felista, are you done? You need more time. Felista, I know you're not frozen. Don't pretend to be frozen. Felista. Inasu, are you done? Okay. What you can do if you're done, Felista went bye-bye, but that's her internet, I think. If you're done, send it to me directly, not in the group chat. Okay.
No.
Yeah. If you're done, yeah, sure. Okay. So I'm still waiting for somebody's to come through. Nobody's has come through yet. Just put it in the regular chat. Hey. You guys said you were done. So how long does it take to go from you to
We
me?
are typing.
What gift?
We are typing.
Why aren't you? What do you mean? You typed it already. You should be copying and pasting it. Am I confused? There shouldn't be anything to type. There should be a cut and paste. So far, I've only gotten one person. Okay, guys, your time is up. Let's go. Right? Didn't I just tell you that if this was architecture or engineering or whatever, and you went to submit a project, right, you would have been locked out already. Thank you. Okay, so now let's see. We got Listas. No, we didn't. We got Victor's. Okay, let's see. Victor, I asked for a list, didn't I?
Yeah, I made it into a list,
That's
but
not
it
a
has
list.
changed after
That's
copy.
not a list.
After copy.
I don't see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there.
I sent mine on WhatsApp.
I did it as a list, but it has come out after pasting.
No,
It's changed.
a list has numbers.
Yes. Yeah, I wrote it in the Zoom first. So I was changing it. That's why.
You should redo it as a list.
Yeah.
And right, Felista, you did yours as in a spreadsheet, and then you took a screenshot. Hey, what the hell, guys? Right? You're supposed to be taking notes. So you do it in your notes program, and then you copy it and you paste it into WhatsApp. And that's all you needed to do. Redo it the right way. Gift, you get first point for doing it the right way. Okay. Right. And I said put your name on top to everybody, but right. I don't think anybody did that. I was in a conference once with over 200 people, and they said, okay, we're going to give you this exercise to do. How many uses can you do for an ordinary paper clip? I want you have to write down, right, all the different uses for doing a paperclip, for a paperclip. And you have a certain amount of time to do it. 200 people. Okay. You know who came in first place? Anybody listening to what I'm saying, or anybody care to respond?
I'm listening.
Yeah, so
I'm listening.
I asked a question. Anybody know who came in first place?
You.
You.
There's probably a reason why I told this story, right? Either
Yes.
I came in first place or I didn't. Okay, so you say I did. Who says I did? Who says I didn't? We got one did. Felista, did I come in first place or not?
You came in first place.
How boring. I got two first places. Inasu, did I come in first place or not?
First place.
Oh man, there's 200 other people there. Come on, give me some credit or give them some credit. Victor, did I come in first place or not?
No, you did not.
Victor, you're fired. Okay.
You just get to the Samati's story.
Okay. Yes, I came in first place. How many uses do you think I came up with for an ordinary paperclip? Just take a guess.
50.
Gift. Think about how many you can come up with. How many uses? Inasu, come on.
10.
How many?
10.
10. 10? I just saw 5. I said there's more than 5 things wrong with this damn spreadsheet. And you can only have me come up with 10 uses for a paperclip? Ah! Felista, how many uses?
How many what?
How many uses did I come up with for an ordinary paperclip? Come on, gift.
5.
How many?
20.
30. Is that what gift said?
20.
30. Felista, how many?
15.
15. Wow. Okay. This is an example of why you guys need to learn how to think differently. about what you're doing. We are going to do something similar later with a larger group, okay? And there will be a prize. Okay. I think I came up with something like 87 different uses for a paperclip.
Oh,
Okay.
this
Now, the thing is, granted, I'll probably add in there things that you won't add in there. Okay. But they're still valid uses for a paperclip.
So I get the prize. That was the closest.
No, you don't, because you're about half off. Okay. And the thing is that you can get the prize when you can actually do it yourself. Right? This isn't guessing about, you don't get a prize for guessing about me doing it. Right? You said no. You said I didn't win. This is the second reason why he's fired. Everybody else said I got first. You said I didn't, right? So regardless, you're fired, right? That's your second one. You want to go for number 3? Keep going. Keep talking. Let's see. Okay. Says, I'm your favorite intern, right? He knows that.
Yeah. Of course, you froze. There's a network issue.
Okay. So let's now go over it. We have Inasu's, we have Felicitas, we have Gifts and Victor's. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out what one of you said. Okay. And then if you had it on your list, right, give yourself a point. Okay. Is that clear? Where's Inasu? Oh my God. I'm not going to repeat this, damn it. Okay. We'll give him a minute. Somebody count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Inasu, are you ready? What did I say?
Yes.
I wasn't here. Okay, I'm going to read out loud what one of you put down. And if you have it on your list, give yourself a point. Keep track of your points. Okay, if you don't have it on your list, don't give yourself a point. Okay, so let's go with the first thing. So the sheet wasn't named. Okay, point or no point. Okay, next, the header wasn't specific. Terms, objective, definition. Now that's specific to me, so that's not a valid. Okay, so we're going to X that off. That's not a, okay. I can't X it off. Okay, she centralized the header. Okay, that is correct. That's, if you put she centralized the header, right, then that's correct. That's 1 point. She bolded the context. That should be content or content. Okay, and you got to practice your spelling. Okay, because you got different words and the different thing. And she made all the terms bold. You know, that's a 50-50. Okay, you can go either way with that. Okay, so there's nothing, you know, here it's okay to do that, I guess. She didn't specify what she was working on. Okay, but what she's working on is actually should be in the file name. That's what's working on. And it's also somewhere else. Okay, so with that, right, Gift, you got, I think, 2.5 points. You got that? Keep track of your points. Okay, just because I said there are 5 things doesn't mean that you stopped at 5, which, right, so far, pretty much, yep, You see, that's a problem right there. I said, I looked at this, right? And right away, there should be, right, a minimum of 5 things that you could list. So what did you all do? You did the minimum. You did the minimum. When I had, right, when I was in competition with the 200 people, it wasn't to do the minimum, it was to do the maximum. That's what your assignment was, to do all of them. It's like picking weeds in a garden, just like shooting womp rats on planet whatever for Luke Skywalker. Okay? Who wants to be Luke Skywalker? Okay. The next one is Felista. Okay. No outline. You don't really need an outline. Here, right, we didn't ask you to do a prompt for this. No tone, no context, no website where the information was gotten from. Okay, you could have put a URL in here, that's correct. So, but all the other ones, right, are incorrect because that's part of what you do when you're writing an objective and a prompt or an effective prompt. The assignment here wasn't to write an objective prompt. It was to go ahead and get the terms and write the definition of the terms. Okay, so you're getting 1 point. Inasu, you better not be changing anything. Yeah, professional title.
I missed. For me, I missed.
Okay, need to
Yes,
freeze the titles.
I missed.
They look frozen to me. Okay, those are headers. Okay,
At first, we're not first.
no prompt, no tone. Okay, so you get 1 point for no professional title, which is really no file name, which should be really no file. 1 point out of 5. Who's the last person besides me? Okay, Victor. Title should be in caps as per organizational standards. Which title are you talking about? The file name? Or the title?
Yeah, the spreadsheet title. Spreadsheet.
Okay. Title should be in caps as per, that's correct. File name doesn't clearly describe the data inside, that's correct too. No AI prompt column. Okay. With this, you don't really need a prompt. Okay, like I said, your prompt is pretty simple. If you, okay, I mean, you can write your objective and your prompt for practice. So I will give you, let's say, I didn't give Felista credit for saying no prompt and no whatever. So let me think about that. Let me see. You don't need, this is your outline. This is your outline of what you were doing. It's your 50 different things. So this is the outline, right? There is no prompt. And there is no website. I'm going to revise Felista's and I'm going to give her a 2.5. Okay, so now Felista has a 2.5. Now Samson, Inasu, professional title missing, needs to freeze. That's no prompt, no prompt, no title. Okay, so that's 2. I'm going to give you, I'm going to revise yours and I'm going to give you an extra point for no prompt. So you have 2. So you guys are moving up in the world. Now, Victor. Okay, title should be in caps. 1, file name doesn't carry, that's 2. No AI prompt, okay, when you make that 3. Spreadsheet title should stick on the top. You're talking about the headers? Like these things, objective definition? They do stick. They do stick. The column information is general, not specific. Board, organization, list, a linear group, selection, divide tasks for better structure and clarity. Okay, so the thing is that you got, actually, Victor has 4 out of whatever, he gets 4 points. Okay, now I'm going to do it, and I'm going to say that, so keep track of the ones that I do, write them down. Okay, so, right, file name, right, has to be specific, because 1, we don't know what area what's your area that you're researching? This terminology.
Project management.
So does it say project management terminology? It says,
yes.
It says project management terms, but it's not in uppercase like we say. So it's there, but it's not formatted properly. So not formatted properly, title. 2, right? We don't center information. Oops. We don't center information. We left. Justify it. So your headers, right, need to be left justified. That's never. 2, right? We're going to say that you don't bold the entire column. You only bold the header. So that was one thing that I think Gift had said before. Okay. Then after that, right, she has data in the center and at the bottom of cells, which is incorrect. All the cells need to be at the top. Isn't that correct? She used the correct font. Okay. Font size, right? We would prefer 10 point. Okay, but 12 point is the other acceptable font size. The next is that she didn't, right, make all the columns and uniform, and all the rows actually uniform. Okay, because look at the difference in the data. Okay. Isn't there a big difference in the data now in terms of how you can manage it and how you can see it? Yes or no? Speak up.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing that wasn't done, which is more sophisticated, is there's no you have terms, but there's no category. So these things are all just randomized. So if I'm trying to learn something, right, and I'm doing project management, okay, or whatever it is, I'm doing graphic design, I'm doing computer information sciences, I'm doing biology, I'm doing sustainability, I'm doing programming. Well, I want to know what this information relates to. Due date. What the hell does that relate to? Okay. What is board list? These are just random terms now. So I can't organize it in my brain because I don't know, right, what, where this goes in the scheme of me doing project management. Okay. So it's not just a question of random terms for the industry, a more sophisticated, right, analysis and, synthesis of the information is classifying, right, the terms. What aspect of project management? And yes, that can go into an AI and a prompt. Do you see that? Yes or no? Vista, do you understand that? Yes or no?
Not yet.
Okay. Gift, do you understand that? Yes or no?
I understand a bit.
You do? Nod your head yes if you do, no if you don't.
A bit. So
Inasu, do you understand it?
No.
No. Victor, do
Mm.
you understand it?
I've already done it.
Say again?
I've already done this categorizing and classification and labeling.
Okay. So when I asked you, do you understand it? What should have been the proper response?
Yes.
Yes. Right. This is the thing that you have to learn. Answer the questions that you're asked, not what you want to go ahead and say. Inasu, that's something for you too, right? So don't be you're laughing, but it's true, right? Okay. And when you ask a question, ask the question that you want me to answer, not something that goes around the bush. Okay. Be direct with your questions, be direct with your answers. Okay. Then, if you want to go ahead and say, yes, I understand. I actually did that. Can I share screen, right? And can you review it to make sure I did it properly? That's something that you can say. And then I can respond directly, like, no, or yes, or in just a little bit, or whatever the case may be. But do you see how differently to go ahead and say it?
Yes.
You know why you do it that way?
Because I'm a worker.
Why you do it the way that I told you to do it?
Because I want to be a manager. I want to be a CEO. I want to be top level management. Yeah.
Okay. You want to be known as someone who's a straight shooter who answers things directly. People will have confidence in you if you answer things directly. If you answer things like a politician, right? When they want to go ahead and burn down the town, they're going to go to you to burn it down. They're going to burn it with you too. Okay. Be a straight shooter. All right. So, okay. We got 4 minutes and we're going to end. This was a really long session. What time do we start? 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. 2-hour session, guys. Okay. You want to explain it, Victor, since you know what it is and your management?
It'll be my pleasure.
Go for it. You got 2 minutes.
Okay. What I've understood with the spreadsheet that Madam Faith has been doing is it's a detailed description about a project management life cycle. That's what I've understood about it. So like it's the steps to be followed in all the phases. So the category can be in phase format, like this phase, is it the initial stage? Is it the middle stage, the completion? Okay, I don't have the terms floating in my head currently, but I think it should be the steps in phases. The category should be the phases.
Kind of like
Yeah.
kind of like objective research, outline spreadsheet, right? Those are the components.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do these things fit in project management? If you had these things as if you had to create a hierarchy with the different subcategories, right, that go into the steps of project management, and you had these 50 terms, and they were let's say printed on a, like on a little circle or a little post-it pad. Okay, they're on a post-it pad. Where would you stick those terms on the post-it pad, on the blackboard, right? Under what categories or subcategories? You understand that, Felista?
Yes.
Okay. And the thing is that, to take what Victor said, which is correct, and and I know how Victor knows this. Victor, the reason why you know this is because this is the same type of breakdown that I had you do in the application. So do you see how things get related?
True, boss.
So good job on that. Good job on that. So the thing is that you also have to go ahead and have a logical order to the information that you're putting into your terms. And so if you've got a subcategory, if you've got a category here, you don't want these terms that go under that category to be random also. You want to try to get them in the order that someone who's doing project management would encounter them. Because if you were writing the steps to understanding something, okay, let's say you're talking about HR, Gift, you're doing HR, and there's the job posting, then there's the recruitment, and then there's the let's say the acceptance and onboarding, okay, and then the training. Those are your categories in HR. Now you got to fit those terms into those categories, but you don't want to do it random. Okay. You don't want to go ahead and, I'm not going to give examples, but do it in the order that it comes up in what the person's activities will be under that category. Write that down, because your next task after doing this, what you just did, Felista, is to revise it based upon the more advanced content that you're going to go ahead and provide. So you're going to make all the changes that we talked about, okay? So your spreadsheet kind of looks like this now, okay? And then you're going to go ahead and also have an objective, a prompt. You're going to run both of those through the AI, and you're going to tell it to create the subcategories and order the terms in the right order under the subcategories. Clear?
Yes.
Gift, you're going to do the same thing. Inasu, Victor, both of you do the same thing. Okay?
Okay.
And then also the outline that you made from this conversation, keep that handy, because you guys might be helping teach this to other people in the program, because they're going to have to do the same thing. And that's also how you get your management skill training. It's not just that you do it one time for yourself and then you own it, you understand it. You've got to teach it to other people so that they can go ahead and understand it, do it correctly. That reinforces it in you. The more times you reinforce it, it's like doing a sport. Okay? The more you play against higher competition, the better you are. Okay? So when you start to teach this to other people and they understand what you're talking about, and then they turn in the work, and yeah, it might take them 1 or 2 or 3 iterations to get it right, but you can teach them how to go through that process. Now you're in our train the trainer program. HR, right? Management. Now, later, when you start to do that with all the things that we're doing, you'll have the opportunity to go ahead and work with us and do this on a professional level and train people from other companies to do what we're talking about and get compensated for it. Okay. Even if you don't pick that specific route, everything that you've learned is going to help you tremendously with your career. Tremendously. Okay. Any questions on anything I'm done? Because I'm done. Or anything I said? Because I'm done. Everybody good?
Yes.
If you got value, if you got value from this session, right? Put a number from 1 to 10 in the WhatsApp. If you got any value from this session, if the session was valuable to you, put a number from 1 to 10 in the WhatsApp to tell me, right, your feedback on how I did today with your training session.
10 means greatest.
10 means the greatest.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This Zoom meeting, is there a way we can get access to it to like go back and
Is there any way to get the video?
yes.
Is that what you're asking? Okay.
Yes.
I want you to speak up like you're at a classroom. You're the teacher in the classroom. I want you to project so that people all the way in the back. Victor's all the way in the back. Victor's got to hear what you're saying. Say it again.
Is there a way we can get access to the Zoom videos? Did you hear me?
I heard only part of it. You kind of blared, but you want a copy of the Zoom video, yes?
Yes.
Is that what you asked?
I think she wants to know where she can get this video after the meeting. Not so.
Right.
Where you can rewatch the video.
Yes.
I heard
It's
that.
always posted
Okay.
in the YouTube, on our YouTube
Yes,
channel.
but it's not every video you post. So
Right. But this is a general training video on something specific. Okay. So that I will make available to everyone because it applies to everyone. Like I'm not going to make graphic files available of, to you all because you're not in any way, shape, or form in that area. Okay. But what I'm telling you about this applies to every industry. Okay. So I believe there's a folder in there that's that is available, and I say everyone should use this. Should go into information in this folder. Okay, that's the general folder where you can go for everything. Okay, so the answer is yes. We'll have access to it as soon as I post it, which will be probably by tomorrow, the latest. Okay. And do you know that you can also ask, I shouldn't tell you, you can also go ahead and get, you can also get transcripts made for meetings. Okay. I'm not sure if you can do it on your end. Oh, and I think maybe we have to start this from the beginning because right now it's typing what I'm saying. Okay. But I think that there's a way to go ahead and do audio or video to transcripts.
Maybe on our YouTube. Maybe when you post on YouTube.
Yeah, okay. You can do that. All righty. So everybody good? Okay. And let's see. If you haven't posted the score, post the score. And I will see you shortly. if you're not sure everybody should be doing this revision as well as any other revisions that I gave you. Starting by the end of the week, you're going to get more specific assignments that relate to your field. So you'll have specific projects to work on. Okay. But for you, Gift, I want you to expand the number of universities and what is the main program that we sign up for to post job postings for students from that university. They use a software system like Handshake, Simplicity, or is it only through their career resources? Okay. And you want to do a country, you want to do it continent by continent, or some cases country by country if it's a really big country. Okay. Everybody else know what they're doing? Okay. If you have anything else, tell me later. I'm still waiting for Felicitas and Gifts review to come through. What did you think of this program today? Okay.
Mr. Benjamin?
Yes, sir.
I think we have another meeting 2 hours from now.
Yes, we do. Thanks for reminding me.
It's
Yes,
okay.
I know.
Thank you.
I know, we do. We're going to go into another part of database management and outreach. Okay, and that's going to be a shorter meeting. Definitely.
It's okay.
Okay, cool.
What time is it?
8
It will
p.m.
be 8 p.m.
Eastern.
ET.
Okay.
Okay.
That will be 3 p.m. your time, Faith.
3 p.m. or a.m.?
3 a.m.
A.m. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think somebody texted me at 4 o'clock in the morning and said, "Can I have a meeting now?" And I think that was you, Felista, who texted me, and it was 4 in the morning here, and said, "Can I have a meeting now?" And I didn't answer you because even though I'm up, I'm not going to have a meeting with you at 4 in the morning when that's my time, right, to go ahead and do my work or whatever. So the thing is, the reason why I'm establishing these set times is to handle things more effectively. So I don't have to explain things to each one of you individually. I can do it in groups as much as possible, okay? So that you can learn by also listening to what other people did. So there will be times if you're working on a project and you need to get with me a whole bunch of times in a row, okay? I'm not going to interrupt a meeting with a whole bunch of people to go ahead and have you do that normally. So that's when you can go ahead and say, "Hey, right, do you have a chance to look at this revision with me?" Okay. And I'll say yes, or, an hour from now, or whatever the case may be. And I have people who come back to me 3-4 times in a day to go over their work because they're working on something and they can't move forward until they get my input on what they're doing. And there's kind of a deadline also on what they're doing. Okay. Right now, you don't have deadlines except from day to day. Okay. Enough for now. That covers it. Thank you. I hope you had fun. Okay. And I will speak to you later. If you didn't think that, if someone didn't give me a 10 out of 10, which is okay, I want you to say why I didn't get a 10 out of 10. You have to justify what you're saying. Remember, right? We always ask, right? I always say, if you've got something, if you got an opinion about something, like, "I don't think this works," right? And you say this in the meeting, the next question you're going to get is, "Why don't you think this works?" And you're going to say, "I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it works to me." That's not an acceptable answer. So I want you both to write why you think I don't get a 10 to 10. And Inasu and Victor, if you don't mind, if you can write why you think I do deserve a 10 out of 10. Now we're consistent among everybody. I'm going to sign off. You can continue to send those in. I will see some of you at 8 o'clock. I'll see some of you tomorrow as well. Okay?
I'll be around tomorrow.
I hope you're around forever.
Yeah.
Bye, Victor. Bye, Inasu. Thank you, Gift.
Right.
Thanks, Felista. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.